Does Ahsoka really work in live action? We're 3 episodes in, we've seen space battles, sassy droids galore, but we're kind of wondering, is it enough that it's now in live action? Would it be better in animation, David?
I just cannot believe you're saying this, Louise. Every week you seem to surprise me. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, this week we've switched roles. I'm on the dark side. I am kind of thinking that at the moment, 3 episodes in, it sort of feels very animated to me. It sort of feels a little bit pointless that it's in live action currently. So looking at episode 3, there was that space battle that we've been discussing. I did enjoy it, but there were shots that just felt to me like had been copied straight out of animation. That little cartwheel that Ahsoka does, love that for her, but it almost feels to me like it would have looked better in animation, and that it's just kind of a little bit dulled down in live action. And we've also been talking about the characters. We were talking last week about how Ahsoka is a little bit stoic. Is that just, you know, a problem of live action? So I've got absolutely nothing against the cast. I think they're great, but sometimes it does feel like they're taking a lot of inspiration from their Rebels characters. And sometimes those expressions just feel a little bit more full of life in animation and a tiny bit lifeless in live action. I'm thinking particularly of the holo message from Ezra Bridger in the first 2 episodes. I don't know if I'm fully getting what he's about in live action just yet, but to be fair, we do have a lot of episodes still to go. And also, I don't know how I feel about all of the shocks and surprises coming so far, also being so inspired by Rebels. We've seen, there were elements of episode 3 that I absolutely loved. I really enjoyed seeing the Purgles for the first time in live action, but you know, I sort of feel like we need something new.
I'm practically speechless, but fortunately not speechless, because I am now going to destroy everything you just said.
Excellent.
So basically, look, I do sympathise to an extent with your point that, yeah, the characters are maybe a little bit less expressive than in their animated form. Of course, with the art style of the Star Wars cartoons, you know, you have these characters with their kind of larger eyes, like ability to sort of contort their face in ways that a real-life human being just simply cannot do. So, of course, it stands to reason that these animated characters are more expressive. And, of course, we've seen trouble adapting those sort of characters to live action before outside of the Star Wars genre, such as, you know, the Lion King remake, which got a lot of hate, a lot of flack. And, you know, arguably for good reason. But I think in this case, it doesn't quite stand. I think that although it's true that I think Sabine maybe has lost a little bit of her kind of punkiness. Obviously, we spoke last week about how Ahsoka is a little bit more withdrawn. But those seem like conscious character choices. And actually, I would say, if anything, Hera is more lively in this series than she ever was in the Rebels cartoon. I mean, no disrespect to the character, but she was certainly the most boring character on that show. And I am loving Mary Elizabeth Winstead's interpretation in this series so far. She's got so much like feistiness that we've never seen before, and I think she's really popping off the screen. In regards to the point you made about the space action sequence, I am so furious at you right now. I honestly think Ahsoka cartwheeling through space was the best Star Wars scene I have had the joy of witnessing in some time. I really thought it was just such a wonderful sequence. And yeah, I think it looked deliberately quite floaty and a little bit exaggerated because obviously they're in the kind of, you know, lack of atmosphere of space. But I just thought it was so much fun, and it was great to see these characters kind of letting loose in a way that we haven't seen in such a long time, and in a way that only Ahsoka really can, because obviously, you know, people like Din Djarin just don't have the same level of ability. But I think if you're asking me, does it work as a live action show? I think it certainly does. I'm having a lot of fun seeing this world brought into live action so stunningly with some great casting and some great visual effects. So you're dead wrong.
So that wraps up another feisty discussion in our series. Talking of feisty discussions, David, what have the commenters been saying?
Well, so on last week's episode, we debated, is Ahsoka Tano boring now? And it seems that the viewers were split on our points of view.
Yeah.
So Kelcats kicked off the discussion saying the short answer to this video is no. So clearly a very ardent supporter of Ahsoka Tano there. But Castor did reply saying, Ahsoka put me to sleep in one episode. I guess that's some force power I didn't know she had. So a little bit of sass going on in the comments section. Keep it coming, guys. We like reading them.
So let us know what you think. Are you fighting the good fight with David this week, or are you on the dark side with me? You know which. So join us next week as we continue our series. See you then.
Bye for now.